Well, I thought I'd make another shop video, a little behind the scenes about getting it ready for what it takes to get it ready to take it to a car show. Last weekend, I went to that Pro Street Show up in Youngsville, North Carolina. And this coming weekend, I'm going to take off, but the following weekend is the Turkey Run down in Daytona, Florida. And I'm planning to go down there with some friends. It'll be the first time I've ever been down there. They've been down there before, so it's always nice going with somebody, that knows their way around. So, as you can see here, I got the car up in the air. I come up here early this morning right after breakfast, jacked it up, and I put a heat lamp underneath the oil pan. I let it sit there for about 2 or 3 hours this morning, trying to warm up. The temperature out here this morning was about, 42 or 43 degrees. Now it's about lunchtime, and the temperature got up to about 56, which is still pretty cold. This thing running on alcohol, if the temperature is down in the low 50s or below 50, it won't hit a lick without squirting it with a little bit of gasoline to get it started. So what I'm going to do now is I'll lower the car back down to the ground. I'll push it back outside, and we'll start it up. I'll let it run for about 5 minutes. Get the oil circulating real good, and push it back in here, jack it back up, and then we'll drain it. After while the oil is draining, I want to also pull the valve covers. I'll pull the plugs, check the plugs. I want to check the valve lash. I normally do that once a month. Just basically check everything out and get it ready before we take it down to Florida. Well, let me let the car down. I'll set the camera up. We'll push it outside and we'll get it started. One thing nice about the car only weighing 2,000 pounds, it's easy to push around. I'm going to see if I can set this up in the front. I'll go get my little squirt bottle, and we'll see if we can get it started. I'm going to crank it over a little bit first. I want to make sure I get the oil pressure up. Then I'll turn the fuel and the ignition on and see if we can get it started. Let me see if I can move this over there. We'll get the wrench. I'll get a bucket. See if we can get the oil drained quick. I don't know if you can see in the camera or not how white looking that oil is. The thing holds 2 gallons, and I think I've made some other videos before about the oil and the methanol, and I'm cooking the oil to get the methanol out of the oil. But going down to the turkey run in Florida, I'm gonna that's why I wanted to run it and get it hot, get it really good flushed out. I'm gonna change the filter and I'll put 2 gallons of new oil back in it for this trip, because we're probably gonna be doing a little bit of cruising down there I think we're gonna be down there 4 days. So I just want to start out fresh with new oil, new filter. Well, while that's draining, let me get the camera set up, and I want to go ahead and start pulling the valve covers and we'll pull the spark plugs. A little warm, but not enough we can worry about it. Let's see if you can see in here. Let me look in the camera. You see the water in there? The condensation? Let me see if I can film it this way. Let me see if I can get the other side off. We'll see how that looks like. I'll get them cleaned out. And everything in here looks pretty good so far. I don't see nothing. Like I said, I can go a whole month without adjusting any lash on it. I mean, if nothing's breaking or nothing's wearing, that exception, broken or wearing, you can see it's perfectly clean. There's no pieces, no particles, nothing. So just basically check it, make sure the rollers look good. The springs, you don't see any pieces of broken spring or anything, but what little bit I drive it on the street, I wouldn't expect anything to be wrong with it, but we'll go through it and check the lash just in case. Also, I'm gonna pull the plugs on it. Let me pull the valve cover off the other side, and then I'll come back and pull the plugs on this side. Well, as you can see here, the heads are really clean. I don't see nothing wrong, nothing loose. I'll come over here, I'll show you the other side. I do got a lot of condensation I get in the valve covers. And you can see this side here, how much condensation's in it. But the head itself is clean. You can see right here, it looks spotless. So I'm gonna go ahead and check the valve lash anyway. As you can see here, I started adjusting the valves, or actually just checking them. What I was saying earlier, I put a breaker bar in here in the drive for the blower. You can see it. And then get it on the compression stroke. And you can see there I'm on 0. And then I'll go ahead and set the lash on the number 1 cylinder. And then what I do here, I finish this one. I'll turn the motor over with the breaker bar here to 270 degrees, which is that black mark right there. You can see right there. And then I'll go over to the other side and do number 5 cylinder. Let me get the telephone. Well, like I was saying, it can, every quarter of a turn on the motor, you go to the next cylinder. So next one I got to do is over on the other side. I'm not going to film going through all of them. I just wanted to show you a little bit about how I go about doing it. Let me get the rest of them checked. Well, as you can see, I started putting it back together. We got the valves adjusted. Luckily, it was only 3 out of 16. I only adjusted 3. 1 exhaust valve and 2 of them were intake valves. They weren't out by much, maybe 1.5 thousandths, but since I had it apart and I was checking them anyway, and probably end up doing a lot of street driving when we get down to Daytona in 2 weeks. So I figured I'd get it right. Also, I got the plugs back in. I always never seize them when I put them into aluminum heads. But 2 of the plugs in the back 2 cylinders were wet. It's still getting too much fuel to the back of the motor. So I think what I'm going to do is I went ahead and ordered 2 more nozzles. I'm going to show you here for the people that aren't familiar with this. But this is the injector nozzle. There's 8 of them, 4 on each, 2 in the back, and then 3 on each side. You can see right there, it's got a number stamped into it. This one says 46, so it's 46 thousandths of an inch, which means this hole right here at the end is 46 thousandths. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go down 2 thousandths and go to a 44 thousandths. So I'm going to take these 2 out. I'm going to leave it here for now, but I'm going to change these 2 and go smaller and try to put less fuel in the back of them, and see if it helps with these back 2 cylinders running rich. And if not, I might have to I've been doing some adjustment. I started out originally with 52 thousandths on them, and it was running way too rich. I mean, it probably needs that if I was to race it, but for what I'm doing with it, just driving it around, I'm trying to tune it for something it's not made to do. I mean, mechanical fuel injection is made for wide open racing. And that's how they tune them, to run wide open. Nobody tunes them to idle. And I'm trying to tune it to idle so I don't spray a lot of fuel when I'm around a lot of other cars, you know. But anyway, that's where we're at. I hope you enjoyed the video. I'll keep it short. If I do any more work on it other than cleaning it between now and next 2 weeks and we go down to Daytona, maybe I'll make another short video. Anybody got comments, questions? Please feel free to ask. Thanks for watching, and maybe we'll see you at the next cruising.